Collectedness, collect, hmm. Collectedness and concentration are two terms that are pretty widely used within Buddhism, within Buddhist circles, within Buddhist teachings, and it's very easy to get a wrong understanding about what this entails. And what I mean by that is when we think of collectedness, we think of a sense of a sense that was created by gathering things together. Concentration, similar thing, similar concept. We gather our attention and focus it on one specific point. While in some sense there is some truth in both of these understandings, I think that deserves a little further clarification. And the reason for that is that inherently these explanations entail a sense of doing, of doership. This is a wrong understanding. The direction of Buddhism is not of doership. The direction of Buddhism, as well as every spiritual path, is a direction of being or beingness, however you want to imagine this state to be. So the concentration, collectedness that we aspire to cultivate, we keep using these words of doing, and it's not about doing. There's a doing that happens, but it's more a result of a certain depth of surrender, actually of letting go. So this collectedness and concentration don't happen as a result of something that we have actively done. It's something that happens as a consequence of something that has happened from what we did not do. When the mind relaxes down, we'll say, when the mind relaxes to a certain point, it naturally, a sense of concentration naturally arises without having actively done anything on our part. We simply relax, we let go. And this happens at different levels, in different degrees. The collectedness we can relate to a state of the mind. We can relate it to a normal state of our mind, which is scatteredness. The mind typically goes all over the place in so many different directions, in so many different times, at different speeds and velocities and whatnot. The collectedness is something that happens as a result of not doing, where the best way I can think to explain it at this moment is that all the scattered rays of the mind are naturally collected into a sense of collectedness. Now, these things are not something that can be accurately explained. I'll say they can be accurately explained, but with the understanding that the reality of this experience, that the reality is that this is of an experience that we can arrive at, but not directly through the intellectual understanding. The intellectual understanding has its place to make order in the mind. This sense of order in the mind enables us to relax physically inside, deep inside. So this concentration is a state of being that as we happens as a result of not doing. Same thing with collectedness. When the rays of the mind are, because let me see if I can explain this. This is interesting also. When the mind is all over the place, what happens is we're exerting energy, mental energy, in in the directions that the mind goes to. This is exertion. This is also can be tiring, mentally, physically tiring. It can also be disease provoking too, depending on what directions that the mind goes into. So we have this sense of scatteredness, a lot of energy ricocheting back and forth, going in different directions, very tiring. All this stems from the mind. The body and speech have their part, but they are not the root of this endeavor. The root of this endeavor, the source of this endeavoring, is in the mind. Here, there, and there. So the collectedness that we feel through our aspiration of not doing, in some way, is like a reclamation of our energy. We have psychological energy, emotional energy, physical energy. It is a reclamation of these energies. The reclamation of these energies, the best way I can explain how I perceive it, revitalizes. So we equate, or I say it can be equated, the concept of collectedness with a perceived experience of revitalization. That's the best way I can explain it right now. Very nice. Thank you very much. Bye bye.